Hello and welcome to BrAInstorm powered by STX Next, where we dive into AI in a variety of the departments. My name is Emil Kasperkiewicz, and it's my pleasure to be joined today by Mateusz Zapart, Solution Sales Professional at Promise Group, and Janusz Kukla, Head of Cloud at STX Next. Hi
Yeah.
everyone.
Hi, Emil. Hi, Janusz.
Yeah, so to start, I think we can all agree that we've seen the people who are the dreamers with their heads in the clouds, ready to take on the world. But the main issue can be lacking the fundamentals. What happens when what you're trying to conquer is AI and what you lack is an actual real cloud infrastructure? Well, let's find out. Mateusz, Janusz, welcome once again. I'm excited to dive into the complexities of AI and cloud. But first, let's talk about you. What is your background and what made you excited about AI in the first place? Mateusz, maybe we can start from you.
Yeah. Thanks, Emil. First of all, happy to be here. Thank you for the invitation for this amazing podcast, or maybe webcast, should I call it. As you mentioned, I work as a solution sales professional at Promise Group, where I focus mostly on helping companies how to adopt AI in their workflow that actually brings business value. And that means, of course, everything from Copilot deployments and custom AI agents to designing AI adoption programs for entire organizations. So it's really complex situation. And my background is a bit of mix of, let's say, tech and strategy. I've always been drawn to how new technologies can reshape the way we work. And AI is the first one that feels like it's changing not just one thing, but everything at once. And the way we communicate, how we make decisions, how we create, it's not just automation anymore. It's like augmentation. So it's not about only this automation thing that everyone is talking about. So I guess what excites me the most is how to help people cut through the hype, because there is actually a big, enormous, let's say, hype about AI, and to cut through this and use tools, because those are tools, as I like to think about it, to not just do everything, but to solve real problems in organizations. So that's briefly about me.
Thank you, Mateusz. And my name is Janusz Kukla. Nice to be here today with you, gentlemen. I'm leading the cloud team at STX Next, and these are the professionals who are setting up the cloud, mainly these days for AI use cases, which probably is the reason why we are discussing today. But I'm glad that we are having this conversation because we need to also understand that AI is bringing all the other expertises into action as well, and that there is no just AI prompt engineer involved in the entire process, but that we actually need a proper infrastructure for it to build our applications to solve the problems using AI. For that, we definitely need all that kind of backbone to build on top. What I'm the most excited about when it comes to AI is the efficiency that it brings for us. Yes, at the beginning, you need to spend a lot of time preparing it in the right way, finding the right prompt, finding the right use case to solve as well. That is very important. But at the end, it can increase your efficiency in the things that you're working on. And that is something which I'm super excited about. And we can see already today that this is going to be a rather revolution than evolution of how we are working, how we are interacting with the world. So excited to be here, excited to talk about it. Let's see if we have some similar ideas and maybe some contradicting ones as well. Thank you.
Let's chat about it. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for your introduction. So to start, simple as usual, why are we talking about cloud in the context of AI? Janusz, maybe we can start from you.
So definitely AI is built on top of vast amount of data, and there's been this big push in last decades, basically, that if you want to deal with a large amount of data, with large data sets and so on, you probably will use cloud for it. You will use the cloud technology as it is scalable. It is quite cheap to store the data on top of it if you do it the right way. Let's talk about that maybe later. But if your data is already in there, and if you're requiring as well a flexible infrastructure to train the models, to retrain them, to run them, and so on, the infrastructure which is backed by GPUs, which are not that easily available on the free market, then the cloud is probably your best bet. Obviously, there is also requirements to run those use cases in a more controlled environments, where organizations would decide to run it on their on-premise infrastructure. But this requires a lot of capital upfront investment, and not all of the organizations can afford that. So that would be the main driver.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, also we are talking about the cloud because if you think about modern AI that actually does have right now, it can't be really run on your laptop anymore, or like on your PC anymore. I'm thinking about especially large language models, and they are massive, and they require enormous amount of computing power, fast data access, constant updates. You see how fast it's going. Let's say, on example, on ChatGPT or any other models, and they are like constantly updated. So you need those updates also, and it's really crucial to think about it outside of your PC only. So those are things that are only really possible in the cloud. But also, when we think about cloud and AI, we don't just think about hardware, because the cloud gives you it's like my favorite one, flexibility. So flexibility to scale, to experiment, and it's also like one of my favorites. When you think about AI, you need to experiment with those tools, with those processes. And also it gives you flexibility to integrate AI into your existing tools, workflows. So without it deploying AI in a meaningful way, it's like trying to run a Formula One car on a dirt road. So it's like you can get moving, but it won't be really pretty and yeah, let's say pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and maybe just adding on top of that, thank you, Mateusz. So definitely when we see the rise of NPUs, TPUs, and GPUs, and the progress that we are seeing on the hardware side, it will be really, really hard for you to stay relevant with your on-premise infrastructure. And at least if you would like to move to, for example, a next-gen breakthrough that will come in the hardware space, it will cost you a lot. And probably the infrastructure that you invested so far is going to become obsolete. And it's better probably to hand over that problem to hyperscalers, for example.
Yeah, there is also a security thing about it. So you can, of course, be as secure as you can, but you can never be as secure as a cloud provider. Let's say let's take for an example a Microsoft. So they it's like let's say it's anecdote. They hire more than 30,000 of security guys out there. So a lot of people are working that for that your applications, not only AI applications, but all of your applications are secure right there, and all your data is also secure. So it's also about security reasons.
Thank you so much for your answers. So you both work with customers on a daily basis, so you're probably well versed in their most common needs when it comes to AI. You already said about it a little bit, but in your experience, why do companies want to implement AI, and what do they hope to achieve? And is it like realistic? Are those hopes realistic? Maybe we can start from you, Mateusz.
Yeah. Okay. Uh, yes, the interest in AI is like really huge right now, and I would say there are two main types of motivation I can see. First one is the efficiency mindset. So you want to be efficient with your work. So companies want to save time, automate repetitive tasks, boost productivity, so on and so forth. And that's where tools like Copilot, ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini can come in. So they can summarize meetings, drafting emails, drafting documents, generate some new documents, stuff like that. And these are very realistic goals with those tools, and with the right setup, the result can be seen almost immediately, because you introduce those tools. You of course give workshops to your people and to your employees, and then you have the result. But then there is the transformation mindset. So the idea is that AI will somehow change how we operate our businesses, and that's where things get tricky, and the cloud can get in to make it less tricky. Because while AI can be a game changer, it requires more than just flipping a switch, as we can see in a Copilot, let's say, introductions. And it needs clean data. You need to think about how to reorganize your whole organization. So it's about change management. You need to focus on developing new processes, because old ones can be easily switched to AI processes. You need to think about them in a new way. So sometimes it's not only the little switch, but it can be like change management, culture even shift with for your organization. So the hopes are often valid, because those are hopes. People that came to me, they hope AI can help them, but they need to be matched. Those hopes need to be matched with the right level of investment. So you need to think about implementing AI as an investment, because otherwise it's like another example, like buying a plane and hoping it will fly from your backyard. So you have a really amazing tool, a very complex one, but you don't have the environment for running it. Yeah. Janusz, maybe you can add something on top of that.
I will try, but this was very comprehensive. But let me have a go at it. So what I definitely see is everyone, even as small businesses, they are interested in adopting AI technologies. But since maybe they don't have the full understanding of what's possible and how this can be done, they are resorting only to the chat interfaces and trying to implement, kind of integrate the chat interfaces into their current business processes. That might not be the best practice, because maybe you're not aware that, for example, if you're just using the free tier, you basically the model will be retrained based on your data. So this is where this cloud environment for running, for example, LLMs is very useful, where you can maybe pay a bit more or start paying if it was a free tier, but at least you get the warranty that your secret sauce or the secret sauce of your company is not going to be used for the training of those models in the future. And for a lot of companies, there are just tiny little details that are done differently to differentiate them from the competition on the market. But it's worth preserving those tiny differences, because this is basically your identity on the market, your identity towards your customer base, and some of your customers have decided to use you because of that. So it would be a shame to lose that just simply because you wanted to jump on a hype train. So this is where I see, especially those solutions like Azure OpenAI services, or Vertex AI Studio, or Amazon Bedrock environment, where you can start working using LLMs, but in a more kind of professional way, in a secure fashion, and that kind of preserving your secret sauce from your company, from your organization. So this would be something where I see the businesses should really take care of, that also their employees just not simply go and use ChatGPT, because that's probably the easiest, but also think about the things which are happening behind the scenes. What do you say, Mateusz? Am I going in the right direction, or?
Yeah. I was going to cut in a few seconds, because you mentioned about those free tiers of let's say tools like Copilot, like ChatGPT, and it's common that all of our customers are asking about that, because I run some workshops also on AI, not only about Copilot, but like in a broader understanding of AI. And the first question when I present some solution is like, is it free? So it cannot be like free for forever. And if you want to take advantage of this tool and use it, I mean, in 100% of their capabilities, you need to pay some money. So why I'm saying this? Because I want to underline that using AI, no matter if it's like on cloud or it's on your personal computer or it's on a on-premise server, it will cost you money. So you can, of course, pay it by subscription, with which in my opinion is the best way of paying for such tools, because you are using them, you see the business value, and if you stop seeing the business value of this solution, you can just stop using this and stop paying for this. And if you stop seeing value when you have like your own implementation on on-prem server on your own PC, you cannot like get rid of those hardware solutions and go on. So yeah, that was my intention to cut in.
Yeah, so definitely that's what I see as well, that it's important to stay flexible, to keep on trying, and also kind of keeping the perspective that I'm investing today, I don't know, $20, €20 into something that has a potential of saving me €8,000 next month. So that is something which is very, very important to keep in mind. And maybe you won't see the benefits immediately or from the start, but also just learning how to interact, learning how to navigate that world, how to again interact with the LLM itself. That is something which is also having a value, which maybe is harder to measure, but it is a sort of knowledge required for the upcoming revolution.
Yeah, I want to add one thing on top of that about pricing, because you mentioned about $20, $30 for solutions like Copilot or any other tools like that. But if we can think about tools on advanced tools on, let's say, on Azure AI Studio or Azure AI Foundry, as they rename it recently, you can think also in those kind of manners, because it will cost you more or less no more than €500 per month to use more or less the best models out there, without any, maybe not any, but without huge limitations. So you will have all the infrastructure for you, for yourself, for your needs, and then you can develop on top of that, and it will not cost you like hundreds of dollars or any other currency. So it's relatively cheap, for sure, cheaper than you thinking about on-prem solutions.
And again, it's worth kind of putting side by side the costs of employment and the costs of those services, right? Because if you manage to save the time for that will total to even quarter of a full-time employee, you're probably already paying less for that AI than for another person. But again, Emil, you can see that we can go on and on that one. So maybe let's move on.
And you have some more questions for us prepared, I believe. So yeah.
Yeah, I have just a little bit more questions, but you already started to talk about the topic that I want to ask about, because as you probably see from the examples, I really like the example of a race like Formula One at the dirt road. I believe sometimes what is happening is that the businesses are wanted to participate in the AI race, but without proper preparation. And why do you think this is happening like that? And what are their main obstacles?
Okay, I can start if
you can go.
Yeah. Okay. So first of all, we need to mention about this. Let's say thing like urgency right now. So the marketing about AI is like really big right now, and everyone is talking about this one. And when I talk to customers and even my colleagues, there is this kind of I like to say about this AI FOMO, so AI fear of missing out. And even I'm in the middle of this, because when I'm working with this technology on daily basis, so I need to know about all news out there. Every day is you have like ton of new things that are going out there. So you need to be really cold headed when you think about implementing AI. So mostly companies are afraid of being left behind. So that's why they think about AI and they want just to do an AI stuff. What about it? What is it about? What they want to achieve? It's not that important. They want to be just in this race on the train. When they hear that everyone else is already using, let's say, Copilot, or AI will replace your job or some amount of jobs, they are in the rush without clear strategy, and then reality kicks in. So you need to think about legacy systems, fragmented data. You have, obviously everyone has fragmented data. You can believe me, there is no company that has clear fragmented clear and really good looking, let's say, data out there. Even big companies are struggling with it because it's not a simple task, and we need to say that. So they have also problem with internal expertise. There are not a lot of people that are experts in business and AI strategy and technical strategy implementations, because you need to see the bigger picture than only let's say strategy picture and only like the developers picture. You need to put it together. Yeah, another thing is that often companies don't think that it's going to cost. We mentioned already about pricing, about how much money you need for that, but one by one examples are telling me about customers are ready to talk about it, but they are not ready to pay for that. So if they want to make it cheap, so it in my perspective it won't probably run well. So yeah, that's my perspective on this one.
And just adding, so again, Mateusz, you covered that very comprehensively, but just
Sorry
adding a
for
little.
that. I will try to talk
No
less.
worries, no worries. Hey, this is supposed to be a discussion, and
Yeah.
we're agreeing so far, so that's great. Maybe not gonna make for a great show, but sometimes if we're like-minded, that's also fine.
It's a live discussion. Let's go on. Yeah.
Exactly. So one thing that kind of pops recently over and over to my mind is the discussion of something which in economics is called transactional costs. And that is something which I think we need to make also business decision makers aware of, that there are also transactional costs when it comes to AI. It's just not the transactional costs that we normally know in economics, the discussions, so negotiations with between the companies, the translations, for example, or just drafting the legal documents and so on. In this case, it's about gathering the right data to kind of distilling the right data set for the RAG application, for example, that is going to be used by the LLM in the background. That is preparing of this entire infrastructure for the AI to run on. That is basically also providing the right performance of the underlying data structures which are already existing, that when the increased workload from the AI models will come, they will be ready for it, and so on. So there is a lot of those hidden transactional costs of AI that we try to bring them down with standardizations like MCP, but that is also still something which will be definitely a driving force when it comes to the cost side of things. So it's not really the running of the model itself. Everyone wants to get you on their platform. They do really good pricing for it and so on. But it's really all that prep work that has to be done beforehand before you can start actually productively and usefully using these techniques. So that is just something I wanted to add on that.
We already mentioned about security, but I need to underline this one more time, because in most cases it's a really huge blocker, and many clients are rightfully cautious where the data is going, where the data is going, what's being stored, is this model learning from our prompts, so on and so forth. And the answers aren't always that simple, especially if the implementation isn't done in a control and compliant environment. So those are, of course, this can be, of course, done on cloud. But the obstacles are really there, and this security and also compliance things are really a huge blocker right now, because we are lacking of some clear laws. We have, of course, AI Act, but not already implemented in Polish environment. It's out there, not really complex. We can see some, like, let's say, framework for that, but as with GDPR, we need to work on it and process the frameworks that we can easily implement into the business solutions.
Thank you.
Yep.
So to move on, because the next topic will be a little bit connected to what you just said, because you probably saw a lot of companies want to implement AI copilots to improve productivity, boost efficiency, streamline workflows. But based on what you just said, it's not only about security, but also the AI is only as good as the cloud infrastructure that supports it. And what are the risks of implementing AI without basic preparation? Maybe we can start from you, Janusz.
So let me just take that one. I would say that what is important is that you have the entire ecosystem around your AI setup. So it's not just that you have the access to the latest and the greatest LLM via API, but you also have the right, for example, data structures which are compatible with what you're building on. That you have also some other supporting features, for example, features to build quickly RAGs. Again, what is a RAG is basically a database or the knowledge base for your LLM to use when answering your questions. And it's very important to, within your cloud ecosystem, to have these available. But also maybe another topic would be, when we are discussing security at large in here, that would be also simple things like connectivity to the cloud. How are you connecting your business to the cloud, whether you're going over the open internet or whether you need to have a more sophisticated setup using VPNs, or maybe even something which connects directly your data center to your corporate data center to the cloud data center. So these are the things which are very much in scope when discussing that holistic approach. And we see customers sometimes just trying with the POCs. POCs are running smoothly, but then when it comes to moving the POC into a productive stage, it turns out that there is a lot of groundwork to be done first before we can actually do it. It's very easy to run on your machine. It's very easy to run on the ChatGPT, just uploading a simple sample file. But then it's becoming a bit more complex if you would like to do it in a more productive way with the actual data, maybe even PII data. That is also something which then brings in some additional caveats into the entire discussion. Mateusz, what's your take on that one?
Yeah, I want to just see this question from the other perspective, from the user perspective, and I want to take Copilot for M365 as an example here, because when you look on it, it looks seamless. It generates meeting summaries, draft emails, create PowerPoint decks, do a lot of other things, and it looks really simple to do this. But behind this scenes, it relies on well-configured Microsoft Graph. It's some kind of RAG or graph RAG database. It also have properly assigned permissions. It has indexed SharePoint data, secure access controls, and a lot of things behind the scenes. So if the foundation isn't there, Copilot becomes frustrating. So if you don't have data and mostly data, you will not use it in a let's say seamless way, and it either can't find the right information or show you something it shouldn't show. So what I want to say is that we can see only, as customers, we can see only this like nice picture how it's like running smoothly, and it's amazing that developers that are responsible for those tools, not only Copilot but ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, and all other tools out there, are making a really good job, because we as customers think, oh, come on, it's so easy to use it. How hard can it be to reproduce it in our own environment? And the bad news here, it's hard to reproduce it on your environment. It's not impossible, of course, but if you want to reproduce it, it will cost you a lot. So we need to focus on some kind of things that we want to develop that are not strictly copilots or any other tools like that, but we need to think about our own implementation of AI. Let's say like custom GPTs. So we can call it agents, we can call it GPT models, as ChatGPT is calling it. So you can build it on Azure OpenAI or Azure AI Foundry. Sorry, they renamed the name just recently, and I'm struggling with it. You can design there from scratch. Often you can tailor your data pipeline. You can make your own rules, but with something like M365 Copilot, you're working within your existing cloud environment. And if the environment is messy or your own infrastructure data and environment is also messy, the AI will just mirror that mess. So you need to just focus on those data.
And I think this is also a very important point to mark, that if you're struggling with that, if you're seeing that, hey, it's supposed to be so easy and it's not working out that easy for us, maybe it's not for us, then think about whether not to partner with someone who has more experience, just to help you, to help set you up with the entire environment, to maybe organize it a little bit. Because the experience of actually preparing those environments, let's say AI-ready environments, that is also something very valuable. And I think the first tryouts, which are maybe not going very well for your organization, they might be coming up exactly from what Mateusz has just mentioned. Just try to think about maybe a POC with a partner that knows how to do it, that set it up already beforehand, because that can make really a big difference, and then you can finally actually start seeing some value coming out of those. It's not. It sounds easy. They make it look easy, especially on the promotional videos. There's a lot of devils in those details.
Yeah, and we've already started to talk about the next question, right, Emil?
Yes, that's true. I wanted to follow up on that because we've talked about the challenges. You started to talk about the solutions, but from your experience, what kind of steps do you typically recommend, like the companies should take to implement all of those basics? Emil,
Mateusz, you go first.
Oh, okay.
Let's go, Mateusz. Let's switch it
yeah,
up.
I thought that it will be me. So it's not that different than thinking about any other implementation, especially in IT industry. So the first step I always recommend is to discover. So map out where AI could genuinely and gives you value in your organization. So is it, let's say, knowledge management, sales process? Is it maybe internal communication? So you would then be surprised how often people want Copilot without knowing what they want it for. Because I already mentioned that in some previous monologue, let's say. Second thing, you want to assess your cloud readiness. Cloud readiness, not on-prem readiness, but cloud readiness. Especially for something like Copilot for M365, you need to check your data architecture, graph configuration, security policies, because there is not only this is not only about giving permissions, but also about security policies in general. Because if the data isn't accessible or the permissions are off, Copilot won't deliver anything useful, and it's really, really crucial. It works in some different way than any other tools out there. Maybe Google is going to this direction recently, but it's they have a lot of time to catch up, a lot of things to catch up according to Microsoft development. And of course, I'm working with Microsoft, so that's why I'm talking about this in this way. So the third, I believe, the third thing is you need to focus on user enablement. So AI isn't just like I mean AI and Copilot. It's like in this monologue, it's you can switch between those. So Copilot isn't just a plug and play tool. Okay, it can be, but it shouldn't be. Because people need to understand what it can do, what it can't do. The limitations. They need to know all things about limitations, and of course how to use it responsibly. A lot of questions from my colleagues or from people that are on my workshops is that how to use it responsibly, how not to create bias answers, etc. And I often recommend training ambassadors internally, so you can have on board people who get it, how it works and how it cannot work, and can support others. So the final step is you need to, of course, have a plan for governance, for iteration, for any other new ideas. And AI usage will, you need to know that AI usage will evolve. So in the beginning, it will be slow, and you can see the frustration. This is not working. Those things are not good enough. It will often be like that. So you need to set up some guidelines, monitor how it's being used, and stay ready to adapt and change even everything from the scratch. Because it's not about one-time rollout, and it's something like a journey. So it's my perspective for that.
And from my side, maybe I will actually start a bit earlier and not directly with building out the solutions, but I think the really important part is to map out your business processes, to actually know what you're doing, what is being done in your organization, to try to find out also the processes which, first of all, take a lot of time. This would be the first ones probably to determine, because if you can improve those using AI tools just a little bit, then you will probably gain the most time. And the second high potentials, I would say, in the organization is the processes that people tend to hate. So the chores, basically for them, they don't like to do it. They do it, but they would prefer to do something else. They might not even take too much time, but basically they affect the motivation of your coworkers. And that is something where I would start first focusing on. Once you determine those, then very important step is to look if we have data around that. So if we have the right data points that can kind of help us automate these steps with AI, or for example, that they can that we have a lot of historical data that we could potentially train on AI to act on these process steps, and that would be the first things which I would start without even going into the IT world, because I think this is really important, and very often it's overlooked by the need and this AI FOMO that Mateusz, you've been mentioning, that people just say, "Hey, I want to chat." And that is not probably the way to go forward. I mean, there is a lot in the chats that we can learn from them, but this is not the ultimate solution for the business problems of this world, I would say. And once we have that, once we know it, then this is where I would definitely start looking into solutions on how to set it up. And again, cloud should be probably your first choice, simply because there is no upfront capital investment. There is quite easy user interface handled by all the hyperscalers. All of them have a product that helps you start quickly, kind of test things out quickly, and in a rather secure environment. Obviously, you can make it insecure, like everything. You know, you can have the best locks on your doors and still keep them open, and that's not going to improve the security. But there's still a greater chance that you're going to be running things in a secure fashion on top of the hyperscaler infrastructure. So that would be the steps to get started. And if you feel like you're failing, if your assumptions are failing and you're not getting the results that you were expecting from it, because turns out that, for example, your data structure is not compatible with what you're trying to achieve, then this is where I would then discuss with people who already have experience setting these processes up. Because that experience working with LLMs, we already have roughly 2 years of experience on the market, I would say. So that's where this can be beneficial. It might be, again, a bit of an investment on your side, but still think about the potentials of what it's going to save you in the time and maybe frustration. that is something which I would consider. And the great thing, the last great thing going this path is that once you're building in this environment, you can scale. So you can scale your solution very easily beyond just testing it, beyond just trying it out for a single employee and so on. So this is also something which I definitely like to think of when choosing the place where to start.
Thank you so much for the steps, for all of the steps. So I want to ask you a little bit different question. I think Janusz, you said about the cloud being the best environment, but my question is a little bit challenging because is it the cloud really the best environment for AI, and what's the alternative? And maybe Janusz, we can start from you.
So again, I would underline that for most, it would be the best place, but not for everyone. Because in IT, the answer that you will always get that probably if you're a business decision maker is going to drive you crazy is that they always respond with it depends. And in this case, that would also apply, but I will try to refrain from it. So definitely there are cases where it makes sense to start, for example, on-prem. If we are talking about, for example, a military company that wants to make sure that all the data stays on their own premises and that nobody has possibility to even like this smidge of possibility of accessing the data, they should then definitely consider investing in their own data center or running that on top of their own infrastructure. So that would be definitely one of the cases. However, for any small business, any enterprise that doesn't deal with so much or such vast amount of confidential data, cloud would be the first choice. Mateusz, what's your take on this one?
Yeah, I was going also to start with it depends, obviously, and for most organizations, it's yes, it's the best solution. As we already mentioned, the cloud gives you flexibility, access to powerful models, not only LLMs, but you can also obviously consider machine learning models and deep learning models. So you get also constant updates, the ability to connect AI with your tools, like let's say Outlook, Teams, SharePoint, things like that. And yeah, it all works better in the cloud. But of course, cloud isn't always perfect, like Janusz, you mentioned. You mentioned about military, but we can also consider finance, healthcare, government. They are not really allowed to move sensitive data into the public cloud. Some of them, yes. Some of them, let's say, less. We work with public and government clients, and we can see the switch or maybe start thinking about the switch between on-premise and moving all to the public cloud. So there are alternatives. So if you are on-prem and don't want to move directly to public cloud, you can also try some hybrid solutions. That means running AI models locally or in a private cloud. So you can you have then more control over your data, but you have also more responsibility for your data, for infrastructure, for updates, and yeah, for security. So in the end, it really depends on what you are like allowed to, and what's your motivation, and why you want running things locally and not in the cloud. So yeah, considering the best answer is it depends.
Thank
It
you so
always
much.
is.
Yes,
Yeah, it always is.
It depends. Yes, that's true. And because we are going to the end of our conversation, to sum this all up that you just said, if you were to send one message to all companies wanting to implement AI in their organization, what would you say? And maybe Mateusz, we can start from you.
Yeah, I was thinking about that when preparing to this talk, and I would definitely say don't start with tech, start with the problem. And we already mentioned and talked about it today, and because it's easy to get caught in the excitement of AI, in this AI FOMO, and want to use Copilot for everything and launch an AI agent for, let's say, any business process. But the real question is, what business pain are you trying to solve? What's your idea behind that? What's slowing your team down? What taking up too much time? Things like that to consider. And once you are clear on that, then AI becomes a tool, not a trend, and you can implement this as a tool and monetize this problem and see if the investment is good for your company, or is it just, let's say, hype investment.
So I definitely agree 100% with Mateusz, and if you would ask me first, I would answer the same thing. But to add on top of that, one thing that I see really happening with our customers is focus on what you have started. Yes, there will be a new tool tomorrow that will be super exciting to solve another problem in your organization, but it's better to solve one and have it actually running and unblocking your resources, being just your time or be it simply some cost savings. Rather invest that in the next cases, but try to deliver something already today and not focusing, on 100 things at a time. It's really more beneficial to the organization just to finish those projects.
Yeah, better done than perfect, right?
Exactly.
Better than perfect. Okay, so from my side, that would be all of the questions. Maybe do you want to add something at the end?
Well, just siphoning off what Mateusz just said, we are done. Maybe it's not perfect with this podcast, but it's been my first time, so I hope that it was enjoyable here.
It was really good. It was amazing. Yeah.
Alrighty.
Okay,
Thank
so
you, Emil, for having us.
yes, thank you so much one more time. Thank you, Mateusz. Thank you, Janusz, for participating in it. And to our listeners, I would like to invite you to listen the rest of our podcast or webcast as we decided before. And yeah, that's it from our side. So thank you so much and see you at the next one. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks for great talk.
Thank you.